Well, we kind of addressed both of these real recently. Lee in Albany, thanks for waiting.
Hi guys.
Hi, how
you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good. What's up?
Awesome. Well, I'm a first-time caller. First time getting on the show, and I wanted to talk to you guys. I know you kind of touched on the subject of hell when talking about morality in the previous calls.
Mm-hmm.
But I myself, I'm an atheist, and I go to a Catholic college, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's very different from how. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
That's okay.
It's very different from how it was in high school, where most of my friends in my town, surprisingly, are atheists, which I know isn't very common, but
Sure.
it's what I was used to. So I went to college, and I went to this Catholic college, and I found myself having a lot of Catholic friends. And like I said, I'm an atheist, and I'm also transgender. So when it comes to talking with them about moral issues and my beliefs and their beliefs, the idea of hell comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Because they think that I'm going there. So
Do they think that that's a good thing?
Yeah. And I like talking to them about it, and I like conversing with them. But one thing that I have trouble getting across to them, which I wanted your guys' advice about talking to them with, is that, I mean, the basic idea of hell is, or the colloquial version of hell that most Christians and Catholics believe in, is that it's a place for bad people. So basically what I try to talk to them about is that if I'm going to hell, therefore I must be a bad person. And then I ask them if they think I'm a bad person because I'm an atheist or because I'm transgender, and every single time they say, well, no, and then the conversation basically stops.
Yeah. I understand why it stops, because at that point, I've just acknowledged that you're not a bad person, and I don't think you should go to hell, and I don't think it's a good idea that you will go to hell. And the very next question is, then how can you agree with a doctrine that says that I'm going to hell? How is it that you can be more moral than your God?
Right. And I've talked to them a little bit. I've gotten into... I love watching the show, and I've used a lot of arguments that you guys have used about morality when it comes to hell and heaven, and especially, Matt, I know you talk about sometimes the idea that your mother goes to heaven, and if she knows that you're in hell suffering, but there's no suffering in heaven, would she be suffering knowing that you're suffering and all that?
You can do the same thing. Yeah, you can do the same thing with your friends. First of all, hey, if you found out today that I died and went to hell, would you be sad? And they're going to say yes. And then ask them, if there's no sadness in heaven, does that mean when you get to heaven you stop caring about me? Does that mean and would that still be you? Would there ever be a you that doesn't care about me?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, because, I mean, when I have raised the whole mother thing, the only the main response that I get is, well, I'm not a theologian, and I've never been to heaven, and I'm not a mother, so I don't know, all that kind of stuff.
This I'm not a theologian, that is an admission of defeat.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is saying, I believe something, but I don't really understand it, and I'm not particularly comfortable with it, and I don't feel the need to be an expert in it. Even though, if this thing were true, it would be the single most important thing anybody could know or understand. Because all of the life that we know about becomes nothing if you're going to spend an eternity somewhere. That would have to be the most important thing. And there's the reasons why, churches, Catholic churches and others have declared, suicide to be a mortal sin. It's because they recognize that the doctrines they're teaching, the natural progression, if there was no prohibition for suicide, would be for people to kill themselves right now. I'm pretty sure I just walked.
Yeah.
I walked out of the confessional. I'm right with God. Everything's going. Let me just off myself right now because that's going to guarantee that I get there. So they have to put a prohibition in that suicide is going to send you straight to hell. Because if you kill yourself, you can't keep donating to the church.
Yeah, and I've talked to him about it. And going off a little bit, I went to my friend's baptism, and he kept making jokes where he should just walk out in the street now because then he'll go to heaven. And then he's like, but suicide is a sin. And we're like, and I have one other atheist friend there, and we kind of just gave each other looks like, well, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, but you know what? If you love your kids.
Yeah, Andrea Yates. I was just thinking of that too.
Yeah.
Her kids didn't commit suicide, but she was convinced that she was doing what was in their best interest by killing them now.
What greater love could she have than to damn herself to hell to make sure her kids go to heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the loophole from the Catholic Church about that, but since they've, been dodgy about their limbo and all kinds of things. But Catholics, it's just a big cult.
Yeah, basically. It's pretty weird going to a Catholic college because we're Franciscan Catholic and we have friars walking around, and they're all nice guys and everything, but it's just a very culty feel.
Yeah, if I throw my Southern Baptist hat back on, then they're in a Marian saint worshiping cult that is completely not biblical, which is what I would have. That's what I would have said as a Southern Baptist, and now as an atheist, I would say the same thing about many of the Southern Baptists. They might be on firmer ground biblically, but they still believe something which there's no good reason to believe.
Yeah.
So take that, Lee, and we're pretty much out of time, but I want to try and get to the one last call that's been sitting here for an hour or so, and call us back and let us know, how it goes, how things are going, because you're never. It's unlikely that you're ever going to stop dealing with these things. I mean, even if you got rid of all your Catholic friends, you're still going to run into somebody somewhere, and you are in a particularly awful position because transgender people are under attack. And I would be encouraged. Now, I say a lot negative about religion. And I will talk trash about, clergy being parasites. There are also a lot of good people who are simply infected with a particular religious meme. They're doing what they think is right. They fully acknowledge that they don't necessarily understand it. And while you may run into difficulty with your Catholic friends talking about things like hell or what they think, the fact that they are talking to you and are willing to continue to talk to you is a good sign. It's not a sign that you're necessarily going to talk them out of their religion today or tomorrow or any other day. But it puts those friends in a category that is completely separate from Westboro Baptist Church, from the people who are slaughtering atheist bloggers around the world, from the people, the fundamental Islamic extremists who are wanting to kill anybody who doesn't agree with their doctrine, the people who are bombing abortion clinics, the relatives, the family members who kick out their atheist, gay, transgender kids and want nothing more to do with them. So listen charitably. Always be grateful that you actually have friends that, for whatever reason, they should despise you based on what they claim to believe, or despise who you are, not necessarily you. And they don't. And that is an optimistic sign in a world where religion and religiosity is in decline. Those are the people that you got to keep having conversations with.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much, guys. Obviously, I'm gonna. I appreciate you guys talking to me and taking my call. I'm gonna let you go because I know you said you wanted to take another call, but thank you so much. Have a nice day, guys.
Thanks, Lee.
You too. Thank you.